we are going to discuss one Branson Deen, who played quite a bit of football in West Lafayette, Indiana for the Boilers. Let's see. Let's add up the games played. 10, 20, 32 games played, 28 tackles this past season, which the Boilers took on LSU in a bowl game, at 4 tackles for loss and 2.5 sacks. So maybe not some kind of outstanding prospect, but at the same time, a guy that was on the field for a strong program and contributed.
Yeah, and I mean, as a junior in 21, he had 9.5 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. So, 15.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, playing the defensive tackle, so you're not nose, but like your 3-tech inside kind of a guy for Purdue. 2 times the last 2 years, honorable mention All Big Ten for his efforts and everything. He can stop the run and everything, but he's more of a penetrating tackle. We're going to lean in on causing disruption and havoc along the defensive line. And he's another cog in that machine, as it were, inside. So, yeah, no, I'm not expecting him to be, Cameron Kinchin's first-team All-American or anything, but he's a fifth-year senior coming in with, more than 30 games of experience in 2 different years, being honorable mention in a Power 5 conference. You could do much worse. And I mean, he's a guy who's, he graded well. I mean, take that for what you will, because Pro Football Focus called the Acorns the national champion because they graded out the best. And I'm like, they lost twice. Like, what are you talking? Like, anyways. So take the grades and everything as you will. But I mean, obviously, like with a massive block of salt. But no, I mean, he gets up the field. He's made plays. And again, even 2 times as honorable mention in the Big Ten. So you add him, you add Thomas Gore from Georgia State. I hate the GSU is both Georgia Southern and Georgia State. I think it's Georgia State that he came from. And then you still got the guys on the roster, well, I mean, not Daryl Jackson, because he did actually enroll at Florida State after that whole rigmarole last week, where it looked like he may or may not have, but Leonard Taylor, Jared Harrison Hunt, those guys. There's other guys, Lichtenstein is back for another year along the defensive line. And there's plenty of dudes that I'm forgetting. But yeah, this is another game ready guy who you can put in there. And he's not the Leonard Taylor elite talent, right? But you can put Branson Deen in the game and not take massive multiple steps back in terms of who comes in. It might be a half step, but again, that's something I can live with. Like, he's a grown man. He's 23 years old, as a fifth-year senior. So that kind of a player adding in just adds to the rotation and should be able to continue to help the defensive line be a foundational strength of the Miami Hurricanes defense.
I'll state that, of course, you have to win football games to win a national championship. You can't do what Cam just stated. So that's completely illogical in regards to awarding a championship. But I understand what Pro Football Focus does. They're the grading guys, and they just grade every play and just say, regardless of who's winning or what the score is, there's the grade once we give it to you in that measure.
If they would have said that, then I would agree. But literally, the guy who did it said, no, the national championship or the national champion per Pro Football Focus. That's yeah, like exactly. If they would have just said, oh, they were the highest graded team, and but they did the UCF thing with it, and that's just where no, sorry,
I didn't hear that.
Like I hear you on what you're saying, and you're right, but they did not say what you're saying, and that's where I had the problem.